Welcome to the No Views News. This program was created on Tuesday, May 11th, at 8:25 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, by Zeno Reader. There are 664 headlines from 106 feeds we check to build this automated report. Welcome to No Views, daily automated podcast news. The headlines in this super unknown daily news summary do not imply fact-checking or endorsement of ideas. The first headlines are from the current most popular news site, Yahoo News, with 175 million estimated monthly unique visitors. India's COVID crisis, the newsroom counting the uncounted deaths. A 14-year-old Florida boy has been arrested in connection to 13-year-old female schoolmate's death. Bilola family, locked up by Australia for 3 years. Ocean's extreme depths measured in precise detail. Missouri Governor Parsons says he won't spend $2.7 billion in COVID relief until next year. Man accused of hate crime attack on Asian woman in NYC told parole board he wished he could take back murdering his mom. Putin is looking abroad for an enemy as he feels the heat at home. LA police station firebombed in overnight attack. White House stays out of police protection debate as key Democrat says he's willing to compromise. Republican anger with Fauci reaches new heights. The next headlines are from the second most popular news website at this time, with 150 million unique monthly visitors, Google News. Trump lashes out at junkie Darby horse, Gates and Green join forces and Elon Musk's new talk show, Jimmy Kimmel Live. India's COVID-19 catastrophe could make global shortages even worse, CNN. Dow Jones futures fall, tech futures dive as split market rally continues, Virgin Galactic plunges on earnings, Investors Business Daily. 5 undocumented children, including infant, abandoned at border, NBC News. Murder suspect who fled with a tiger has been caught, but not the animal, Houston police say, CNN. Des Bryant perplexed by Tim Tebow's reported deal with Jaguars, and he should be, Yahoo Sports. Did Resident Evil Village copy an indie horror movie? IGN Daily Fix, IGN. Glenn Youngkin declares victory as GOP nominee for Virginia governor, The New York Times. China's census shows population barely grew in 10 years as births plummet, The New York Times. NBC cancels next year's Golden Globes for lack of diversity, Al Jazeera English. The following headlines are from the third most popular news website, with 110 million unique monthly visitors, The Huffington Post. FBI quietly releases file on suspicions raised about Kurt Cobain's death. Former RNC chair agrees GOP is one of the world's largest anti-democracy forces. Arizona GOP state senator now regrets recount, it makes us look like idiots. More, Iowa Senator Joni Ernst defends fellow Republican Liz Cheney. GoDaddy tells Trump train owner to take its name off his bus. Mitch McConnell poised for starring role in voting bill fight. John Mulaney and Anna Marie Tendler are divorcing after 6 years together. Watchdog says Capitol Police deficient at monitoring threats. FDA approves Pfizer vaccine for 12 to 15-year-old children. Kevin McCarthy says Big Ten party is ready to purge Liz Cheney. The next headlines are from the fourth most popular news website, with 95 million estimated unique monthly visitors, CNN. Woman pleads guilty to stealing from disabled. Giant Hope mural created for hospital. Gun laws questioned after toddler shooting. Hunter accidentally shoots tiger. Over 73,000 attended indoor boxing event. Nurses allege unsanitary conditions at ER. Police, man attacked with meat tenderizer. 6-year-old dies after ATV crash. Austin plans phased approach in camping ban. University of Miami to pay $22 settlement. The next headlines are from the fifth most popular news website at this time, with 70 million estimated unique monthly visitors, The New York Times. Biden to address economy as GOP takes aim at jobless benefits. Global cases fall but the virus is surging in countries that lack vaccines. China's census shows population barely grew in 10 years as births plummet. Why Jerusalem's Aqsa Mosque is an Arab-Israeli fuse. A wandering tiger unnerved Houston. The man who fled with it is a murder suspect. Glenn Youngkin declares victory as GOP nominee for Virginia governor. After raid on Aqsa Mosque, rockets from Gaza and Israeli airstrikes. How the Colonial Pipeline became a vital artery for fuel. The Texas voting bill, explained. Semicolon. The following headlines are from the sixth most popular news website, with an estimated 65 million monthly unique visitors, Fox News. Russell Westbrook breaks Oscar Robertson's career triple-double record. Hannity slams Biden for weakness on world stage. America's enemies are taking note. Glenn Youngkin wins Virginia GOP gubernatorial nomination. Police brace for federal law enforcement reform, defend tried and true tactics. CNN, MSNBC, ABC, CBS, NBC all ignore latest Cuomo scandal over alleged quid pro quo with COVID vaccines. Neurologist rips medical tyranny after NY school forces medically exempt autistic child to wear mask. Empire State lawmaker fighting back against big tech, plans to introduce bill putting sales tax on data. Cruz vows to lead the fight against Democrats' election bill, which he calls the Corrupt Politicians Act. Dax Shepard shared nude photo of Kristen Bell to celebrate Mother's Day. Border agents uncover $4.60 m worth of cocaine in Home Depot buckets. You are hearing today's top news headlines and more. Today is Tuesday, May 11th. The next headlines are from the seventh most popular news website, with 63 million estimated monthly unique visitors, CBS News. Baseball report, Jacob deGrom injury probably not serious. Molly Bernard on Paramount Plus' Younger, I auditioned for a 6-line guest star and it became a 7-year family. AAU player Hansel Emmanuel is taking his game to new heights despite missing arm. Marcel Spears and Sean McKinney say working with Cedric the Entertainer is insane, surreal. Rapping senior citizen dancers beat back Asian hate in San Francisco Chinatown. Stimulus check update, will you get a fourth relief payment? The next headlines are from the 8th most popular news website, with an estimated 53 million monthly unique visitors, Mail Online, the Daily Mail. Gas stations begin to run out of fuel after cyber attack on Colonial Pipeline. Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez spotted together again after Montana getaway. Richard Littlejohn, OMG, passed the duchy from the left-hand side. COVID UK, Boris Johnson unveils latest stage and roadmap out of lockdown. Line of Duty Series 6 to be shown in China after IDV bosses sign lucrative new deal. Angela Rayner could oust Keir Starmer from Labour leadership, he is warned. NBC will not air the 2022 Golden Globes after saying awarding body needs reform on a diversity row. BBC technology correspondent Rory Sellin-Jones is using AI to monitor his Parkinson's. Paul Thomas on Freedom at Last. Christopher Stevens, the young mom to be treated like a criminal for having a dying fetus. The following headlines are from the 9th most popular news website, with an estimated 47 million monthly unique visitors, The Washington Post. This is the Washington Post World News Feed. The U.S. calls for calm between Israelis and Palestinians, but it's part of the problem. Suspected militants kill 4 people in Indonesian village. Pakistani PM, no talks until India restores Kashmir autonomy. South Africa's president suspends party secretary general. School shooting in Russia kills 9 people, suspect arrested. COVID-19 live updates. WHO scientist describes Indian numbers as very worrying, with fatalities undercounted. Japan, US, France hold first joint drills on Japanese land. The UK is set to pursue a ban on conversion therapy. Here's where other countries stand on the issue. At least 9 dead in rare Russian school shooting. After Jerusalem erupts, deadly strikes and clashes spread across Israel and the Palestinian territories. The next headlines are from the 10th most popular news website, which has an estimated 42 million monthly unique visitors, The Guardian. This is The Guardian's US news feed. China's population growing at slowest rate in generations. Nepal urges Everest climbers to return used oxygen canisters amid COVID crisis. The Post Office Scandal, Part 2. Airline passengers fined $20,000 as U.S. agency cracks down on unruly flyers. Explainer, what is the deadly black fungus seen in COVID patients in India? NASA spacecraft leaves asteroid Bennu with a belly full of space rock samples. California declares drought emergency across vast swath of state. Fulham relegated as Ashley Westwood and Chris Wood strike for Burnley. Quarterback Tim Tebow poised for NFL comeback as a tight end. Sir Alex Ferguson, did I think we could still beat Bayern in 1999? No chance. The following headlines are from the 12th most popular news website, with an estimated 36 million monthly unique visitors, ABC News. Autopilot likely not engaged in Texas Tesla crash, NTSB report says. Park across from White House reopens after almost a year of being closed. FDA authorizes Pfizer vaccine for 12-15-year-olds. Suspect arrested in 6-year-old San Antonio girl's killing. Amid outcry, NBC says it will not air Golden Globes in 2022. U.S. ship fired 30 warning shots at Iranian speedboats in Strait of Hormuz. Fort Bragg sergeant charged in death of fellow soldier. The next headlines are from the 13th most popular news website, with an estimated 35 million monthly unique visitors, the BBC News. Ahmaud Arbery, U.S. state of Georgia abolishes citizens' arrest law. Biden denies benefits are holding back job seekers. China, census reveals slowest population growth in decades. Jerusalem crisis, pleas for calm as violence escalates. Strait of Hormuz, U.S. fires warning shots at Iranian boats in Gulf. Pakistan prepares for Eid, rattled by India's second wave. COVID, Dr. Congo in race against time to vaccinate people. Love has won, families grief at death of mummified cult leader. The volunteers using honeypot groups to fight anti-vax propaganda. Jerusalem violence, deadly Israeli airstrikes after Gaza rocket attacks. The following headlines are from the 14th most popular news website, with an estimated 34 million monthly unique visitors, USA Today. Today in history for May 11th. Pfizer vaccine gets FDA okay for 12-15 age group, U.S. infections falling, Fauci says indoor mask rule could be eased, live COVID-19 updates. In California, Newsom wants $600 stimulus checks for 2/3 of residents. AP top stories May 10th p. How can this happen here? Police seek motive after gunman kills 6, then self, at Colorado birthday party. NASA asteroid spacecraft begins 2-year trip home. Israeli police, Palestinians clash at holy site. Houston police searching for mysterious tiger spotted walking around neighborhood. Pfizer shot expands to U.S. children as young as 12. Detroit's top cop retiring, says he's a Republican. The next headlines are from the 15th most popular news website, with an estimated 35.5 million monthly unique visitors, the LA Times. Judge grants preliminary injunction limiting Los Angeles Police Department projectile weapons at protests. Weird-looking deep-sea fish washes ashore in Newport Beach. Newsom extends drought emergency to 41 California counties. LA County expected to hit COVID-19 herd immunity by end of July. Off-duty Los Angeles Police Department officer arrested on suspicion of kidnapping, assault in Inglewood. Do I still need to wear a mask outdoors? There is a growing debate. Am I eligible for the proposed $600 stimulus checks in California? What you need to know. Confidence grows that COVID-19 vaccines hold their own against variants. Newsom promises additional $600 stimulus checks and $5 billion toward rental assistance. Mother's Day shooting leaves 1 dead, at least 3 wounded in Hollywood. We hope you are enjoying this news podcast. Today is Tuesday, May 11th, 2021. You just heard from the top 15 most popular news websites in the world. More from other news sources is up next. Next, Reddit World News. Reddit is a user collective which claims over 430 million active users per month, and these are the top voted stories today. Nepal wants Everest climbers to bring their oxygen tanks back for COVID patients. German churches bless gay couples in defiance of Vatican. 7 Apple suppliers in China have links to forced labor programs, including the use of Uyghur Muslims from Xinjiang, according to a new report. WHO classifies triple mutant COVID variant from India as global health risk. Instagram, Twitter deleting posts about Palestine, blame it on glitch. Hospitals across India report COVID-19 patients with rare deadly black fungus that decays brains and lungs. Dozens of hospitals across India have started to report cases of coronavirus patients being hit by a rare black fungus which has a mortality rate of about 50%. Israeli airstrikes on Gaza kill 20 people, including 9 children, Palestinian officials say. 20 people, including 9 children, killed in Israeli airstrikes, officials say. The government of French President Emmanuel Macron reacted with fury after a group of serving French soldiers published an open letter warning that civil war was brewing over his concessions to Islamism, weeks after a similar message from elements in the military rocked the elite. Dozens of bodies believed to be COVID-19 victims have washed up on the banks of the Ganges River in northern India as the pandemic spreads into India's vast rural hinterland. Locals believe bodies were dumped in river because cremation sites are overwhelmed. Israel strikes Gaza, Hamas fires rockets after hundreds of Palestinians wounded in clashes. Denmark draws China ire for inviting Taiwan leader to speak at Copenhagen Democracy Summit. WHO classifies triple mutant COVID variant from India as global health risk. Canadian politician says link exists between anti-maskers and far-right extremism. 0 COVID deaths recorded yesterday for England, Scotland and NI. The next headlines are from Forbes. WWE Raw results, winners, news and notes on May 10, 2021. Every song on ITZY's new EP is now a bestseller in Korea. After colonial cyber attack, time for oil traders to reassess risk. BTS's RM breaks his tie with Psy and Blackpink's Rose with another hit on Billboard sales chart. Google co-founder Sergey Brin just sold Alphabet shares for the first time since 2017. Accused murderer and his escaped tiger run from police in Houston. Jeffrey Epstein received special perks and treatment in jail, but authorities broke no laws, investigation finds. The best new movies to stream on Netflix, Amazon, Hulu, HBO and Disney Plus this week. The immediate success of NHIP's new album proves their immense popularity in Korea. For the first time, there are no U.S. men ranked in the top 30 in the ADP rankings. The next headlines are from Nature.com. Neutralizing antibody vaccine for pandemic and pre-emergent coronaviruses. Smartphone science, apps test and track infectious diseases. The myriad ways such surveillance is helping fight COVID around the world. An incomparable intellectual who fell through the cracks of history. Thomas Cavalier Smith, 1942 to 2021. Black holes, bucketballs and boxing hairs, April's best science images. A deep-rooted appreciation for the health benefits of plants. Author correction, autoaggressive CXCR6, SUP, plus, SUP, CD8 T cells cause liver immune pathology in NASH. The World Population Update. Currently, we are increasing by over 220,000 people a day, expecting to reach 8 billion in 2023. At the time this report was generated, the population was estimated to be 7,704,400,074 humans. Worldometers.info says there are 195 countries at this time and, of those, the top 10 with the largest populations are, in order, China, India, the United States, Indonesia, Pakistan, Brazil, Nigeria, Bangladesh, Russia, and then Mexico. The next headlines are from Variety. BMI Pop Awards name Maren Morris the Bone Song of the Year, Halsey faded as top songwriter. Every Broadway show that's reopening, and where to buy tickets. DJ Khaled's star-packed album goes #1, Billie Eilish debuts in song charts top 5. Sony Pictures Classics reveals release plans for 3 Tribeca films, film news in brief. Radish fiction app acquired by Korea's Kakao for $440 million. NBC orders drama pilot Dangerous Moms based on Spanish format. Time's Up pushes HFPA on Globes, demanding inclusive, transparent and respectful ceremony. Phil Lord and Chris Miller to direct The Premonition, a pandemic story, producing with Amy Pascal. Variety to host Variety Upfronts presented by LG Ads May 21st. Why a world without the Golden Globes isn't a bad world at all, column. The following headlines are from NPR, National Public Radio. Virginia GOP chooses political newcomer Youngkin as nominee for governor. Facing a recall and a massive surplus, Governor Newsom proposes more stimulus checks. NBC won't air 2022 Golden Globes and rebuke to Hollywood Foreign Press Association. Watchdog, Capitol Police need to boost counterintelligence to address rising threats. FDA okays Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine for 12-15 age group. Rochester, NY, wants to reimagine police. What do people imagine that means? Longtime AFL-CIO official takes up key labor post in Biden administration. China to set up line of separation on Mount Everest, citing Nepal COVID-19 outbreak. Americans will lose unemployment benefits if they turn down jobs, Biden says. Opinion: what Native Americans can teach rich nations about generosity in a pandemic. The following headlines are from The Week. WHO, coronavirus variant first detected in India is of global concern. NASA's OSIRIS-REx headed back to Earth with asteroid rubble. Kevin McCarthy tells House Republicans to anticipate a vote on Cheney Wednesday. FDA authorizes Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine for ages 12 to 15. Official, LA County could hit COVID-19 herd immunity by end of July. NASA has released a space shanty. At least 20 Palestinians reportedly killed in Israeli air raid amid escalating violence in Jerusalem. Tom Cruise returns his Golden Globes amid embattled group's diversity scandal. Elise Stefanik doesn't think the GOP should stop talking about 2020 election security issues. The Daily Gossip, Ben Iver is back for real, Tom Cruise performs his most dangerous stunt yet, and more. The following headlines are from the Texas Observer. Follow the money. Siguiendo la ruta del dinero. The next headlines are from Universe Today. Both Uranus and Neptune have really bizarre magnetic fields. Young stars can evaporate nearby disks before they can form planets. A new method simulates the universe 1,000 times faster. These are the news headlines for today, Tuesday, May 11th. This podcast is produced only in English at this time. As of 2020, the Ethnologue reference lists 7,117 different human languages, with English being the third most common, after Mandarin Chinese and Spanish. The following headlines are from earthsky.org. Uncontrollable China rocket plummets into Indian Ocean. Swimming up sky and up river. Warp drives, physicists give chances of faster than light space travel a boost. Find the keystone in Hercules. The next news is from Politico. Macron's latest headache, soldiers warning of civil war. Who is winning the NYC mayoral money race? Central Europe's deadly pandemic plunders. Iran nuclear talks progress slowly as timeline dwindles. Senior cyber official leaves Biden's NSC. Youngkin wins Virginia GOP nomination for governor. Jenner says she's kind of a Republican. Florida clears officials in treatment of Jeffrey Epstein. Vatican warns U.S. bishops about rebuking Biden, other Catholic pals. Newsom wants to hand out cash before California recall election. The next headlines are from the Sydney Morning Herald in Australia. Victorian man tests positive to coronavirus. Horse breeder on trial for sexual assaults tells court woman always loved his massages. Too late, friend of boy killed has been tipped into garbage truck try to alert driver. New coronavirus case in Victoria, what we know so far. Auschwitz survivor went through 5 camps. Pretty please, how a bias against ugly plants could spell their doom. Another poor decision, Riley to face court, may be sacked by Eagles. Everest climbers told to bring back empty oxygen tanks. Scott Morrison warns of pandemic threat and new sign of voter caution. NRL denies Parramatta's request for bubble exemption. The next headlines are from MarketWatch. TaxWatch, one culprit in IRS backlog of 1.7 million tax returns, broken printers and copiers. Will the Colonial Pipeline outage hike gas prices? It all depends on where you live. U.S. jobs recovery reveals 2 very different Americas. The moneyest, my wife's brother, 60, lives with his mom. He thinks the house belongs to him. What should happen after my mother-in-law dies? The moneyest, my boyfriend talked me into depositing my paychecks into his bank account and paying for a car in his name. What can I do? I'm retired and want to travel, but I'm worried about my health. The Wall Street Journal, Novavax delays its COVID-19 vaccine timeline. Epic takes aim at Apple's financial advantage in App Store model. Personal Finance Daily, the demand for vacation homes is soaring and here's where the Colonial Pipeline outage will affect gas prices. Demand for vacation homes soars, even as people prepare to return to offices. Next, the top stories about patents and inventions. Facebook cannot get PTAB to review messaging patents, Law 360. Ford patents terrible billboard scanning tech, shows in car ads, Motor One. Say hello or wave goodbye, the life and death issue of COVID vaccine equity, Times Live. Invoking Patents Act for production of COVID vaccines, drugs can have consequences, government to SC, The Print. Supreme Court hears arguments in Minerva Surgical v. Hologic, J.D. Supra. Pandemic fuels innovation, companies capitalize on adversity, Business Line. Acacia Research to release first quarter 2021 financial results, Galveston County Daily News. The trendy, hot NFT market has a new entrant, patents, Bloomberg Law. Samsung to pay $62.70 for patent infringement, Lexology. Counterproductive to exercise powers under Patents Act over COVID vaccines, drugs at this stage, Center, Live Law, Indian Legal News. The next headlines are from Quartz. Hacking collective DarkSide are state-sanctioned pirates. Netflix is wielding its growing Hollywood influence to reform the Golden Globes. Energy companies are the firms most likely to pay cyber attack ransoms. Michuan CEO is in the hot seat over a classical Chinese poem about book burning. The more Africans do business online, the more they hate internet shutdowns. The upside of teasing, gossip, and eavesdropping at the office. Pipeline cyber attack, Roblox earnings, Italian Neanderthals. You got to shut down, Biden's chief medical advisor tells the Indian government. Worried Indians are saving more during the pandemic despite layoffs and salary cuts. The following headlines are from TechDirt. Nike, USPS reach a licensing deal for USPS-inspired sneakers. The stunning inability of Canada's Heritage Minister to answer questions about his internet regulation bill. Twitch takes steps to make it even easier to issue DMCA strikes against streamers. Baltimore prosecutor asks FCC to go after local news broadcasters she doesn't like. Minister behind Canada's social media bill now says it will regulate user-generated content. Daily Deal, the Adobe Creative Cloud Suite training bundle. Trump Department of Justice investigated internal leaks by obtaining journalists' phone records. The dish fix for the T-Mobile merger is looking more and more like a ridiculous mess. We are now about 1/3 of the way through this daily news headlines podcast, a free service. Here, next, are the top trending keywords in Google web searches for today, a different window on world events. David Ellefson. Sheba. Ben Affleck. Kenny Mayne. HFPA. David Ross. Golden State Stimulus. Gas. Joshua Bassett. Crocs. The next headlines are from RT, the first Russian news station in English. FDA authorizes emergency use of Pfizer BioNTech's COVID-19 vaccine for American children as young as 12. Israel bombs targets across Gaza after Hamas rocket barrage and unrest in Jerusalem, videos. France's most notorious serial killer, Ogre of the Ardennes, dies in jail at 79. Leading Rusiagate conspiracy theorist appointed to key national security role at Biden's Department of Justice. NBC cancels 2022 Golden Globes as part of pressure campaign on organizer for more diversity. WHO classes Indian COVID-19 variant as global concern, amid worries of vaccine resistance. Detroit Police Chief James Craig to retire, may take on Republican target Gretchen Whitmer in run for Michigan governor. U.S. Coast Guard fires 30 warning shots at unsafe and unprofessional Iranian military ships during flotilla encounter, Pentagon. Massive and sophisticated fake review scam unearthed on Amazon, report. Biden says no evidence Russia responsible for pipeline cyber attack, but Russia has some responsibility. The next headlines are from Zero Hedge. China enforces new boundary with Nepal at summit of Everest to keep infected climbers out. Welcome to the socialist paradise of California. U.S. Navy seizes massive weapons shipment from stateless vessel in Arabian Sea. This is not transitory, hyperinflation fears are soaring across America. Chelsea Clinton calls for global crackdown on anti-vax social media posts. U.S. already planning how to choke Chinese submarines in case of conflict. Egypt reduces compensation fine against ever given by $300 million. 71% of eligible Gensayers don't qualify for military due to obesity, criminal records and other reasons. What was behind Friday's literally shocking payrolls miss? Gas run has begun, fuel stations run dry amid hacked pipeline. The following headlines are from Al Jazeera, Middle East News. NBC cancels next year's Golden Globes for lack of diversity. Dozens of suspected COVID victims found in India's gangs. Kali emerges as epicenter of unrest in ongoing Colombia protests. Pfizer COVID jab expanded to U.S. children as young as 12. Ethnic groups step in as Myanmar's COVID response falls apart. U.S. Tesla owner killed in fiery crash was initially driving car. Attorneys General urge Zuckerberg to abandon preteen Instagram. U.S. welcomes Taliban 3-day ceasefire in Afghanistan. Venezuela needs $58 billion to restore pre-Chavez crude output levels. Is the breakup of the UK inevitable? The next headlines are from Breitbart. The Swamp, big media backing special interests, lobbyists flood Ken Buck's campaign coffers as he pushes bill to benefit them. Businessman, outsider Glenn Youngkin wins GOP nomination for Virginia governor's race. Plaskett, GOP message often is outright white supremacy, antisemitism and racism. Caitlyn Jenner, 2020 was not stolen, we are in a post-Trump era. China, U.S. conducting biological warfare and bioterrorism. Palestinian attacks prevent left-wing government from taking over in Israel, for now. Maine grassroots Republicans say GOP Big Tent fails to include them. Ted Cruz, Ilhan Omar is acting as press secretary for Hamas. World's worst polluter China, right to emit is a basic human right. Exclusive NYC Republican mayoral candidate Curtis Sliver responds to not surprising Times Square shooting, refund the police. The following headlines are from goodnewsnetwork.org. From miniature sushi to tiny cakes, mom makes exquisite dollhouse food, look. Homeless Nigerian boy becomes chess champion of the United States at 10 years old. A monarch visitation after girl's death has dad now sending milkweed seeds to all who want to help butterflies. SolarEdge California hits 95% renewable energy on a recent day across 80% of the state. Uganda joins African nations using drones to deliver life-saving medical supplies to more than 22 million people. You're tuned to No Views, daily automated podcast news. This is a report for Tuesday, May 11th. Thank you for listening. The next headlines are from Reddit Offbeat News. Unfinished burritos once left Disney security dog sniffing for explosives. Huntsman spider trying to eat Australian deep space antenna. Cyclist killed in dispute, shooter dies in police gun battle. Family keeps finding alligators with snouts, ice state shut near Wekiva Island. Vlad the Vaccinator, Dracula's castle lures visitors with COVID-19 jabs. NZ shoe store employee arrested after allegedly ejaculating, spitting in co-workers' shoes for fetish site. Paris teenager's new gig, would-be queen of Italy, a nation shrugs. Second World War shell explodes, killing Solomon Islander. NYC Spanish teacher in trouble for sucking companion's nipple during Zoom class. The next headlines are from a site called The Next Web. Facebook test makes sure you've read an article before sharing it. Could quantum neural networking lead to human immortality? AI diversity groups snub future funding from Google over staff treatment. Military experts fear the Pentagon's been sucked into the AI hype machine. Why companies must be critical of workplace surveillance practices. Holy sheet, how to turn Google Sheets into an RSS reader. What would a car from IKEA look like? Something like this. Microsoft Excel can do almost anything with numbers. This training can make it run on its own. Easy Splitter can break any song down to its components, and it sounds like magic. How to use Google search to find the nearest vaccination center in India. The following headlines are from Science Daily. Invasive species alters marine community, interferes in post-disaster recovery. Volcanoes on Mars could be active, raising possibility Mars was recently habitable. Graphene key for novel hardware security. Even when they include them, gifted programs aren't serving black or low-income kids. Time running out to save coral reefs. Ocean bottom sediments tell a story about ancient Greenland summers. Animal production responsible for vast majority of air quality-related health impacts from U.S. food. Flipping optical wavefront eliminates distortions in multi-mode fibers. PARP inhibitor shrinks tumors in pancreatic cancer patients with mutations. Stimulators could aid spinal cord, heart therapies. The next headlines are from Information Week. What will be the next new normal in cloud software security? The cloud comes of age amid unprecedented change. This is a reading of news headlines. This broadcast was created on Tuesday, May 11th from over 100 sources, to give you a bigger picture of the news. The next headlines are from NASA News. NASA's OSIRIS-REx spacecraft heads for Earth with asteroid sample. NASA announces new associate administrator. Your chick retires as NASA associate administrator. NASA, Axiom agree to first private astronaut mission on space station. The next headlines are from the Salt Lake Tribune. NASA spacecraft loaded with asteroid rubble begins 2-year trip back to Earth, and a Utah landing. Russell Westbrook breaks Oscar Robertson's record for career triple-doubles. New Mantua police chief was fired by West Jordan police. FDA approves Pfizer COVID-19 for children as young as 12. State health officials say no link between blood clots and coronavirus vaccine authorized for teenagers. Police shoot alleged burglar in West Valley City. Test 3. Utah children, 12 to 15, could start getting the COVID-19 vaccine by week's end, a leading pediatrician says. Carly Hansen of Woods Cross High wins Gatorade Award for girls cross country. Here are the 8 Republicans in the running to be Utah's next state treasurer. The next headlines are from Slashdot, Tech News for Nerds. MDMA passes a big test for PTSD treatment. Facebook is testing pop-up messages telling people to read a link before they share it. Amazon seized and destroyed 2 million counterfeit products in 2020. DHS launches warning system to find domestic terrorism threats on public social media. Harley-Davidson launches all-electric motorcycle brand Livewire. Game developers break silence around salaries. Electric cars will be cheaper to produce than fossil fuel vehicles by 2027. FDA clears Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine for kids ages 12 to 15. AMD is biting at Intel's server market share with its largest gains in over a decade. Wildlife is thriving in Chernobyl 35 years after the nuclear explosion. The next headlines are from Fox St. Louis. Plans to repair collapsed retaining wall in Arnold approved, public not allowed to see them. We don't have the power, St. Charles County Council adopts resolution clarifying its role in mask mandates in schools. Olympic icon Jackie Joyner-Kersee weighs in on IOC's new guidelines on political protests at the Games. Investigation of body found in Madison County shifts to Georgia. Swansea police officer helps deliver baby boy on Mother's Day. Eviction help for tenants and landlords. Persimmon Woods Golf Club tracks progress from 1 year ago. Melville School District coping with pandemic and potential legislation that could cost them millions. Missouri House votes to legalize needle exchanges. Department of Conservation expert says bear sightings could be new normal. These are the current headlines from the world's most interesting news websites. Thank you for listening. The next headlines are from Fox San Diego. Cyber attack disrupts employees at Scripps Health. Oceanside police now offer Zoom to file police reports. Husband of missing Chula Vista mom said he gave multiple guns to friends prior to search warrant, police. Mary Ann Fox, UCSD's first woman chancellor, dies at 73. Newsom adds dozens of counties to drought emergency. FDA authorizes Pfizer vaccine for emergency use in children as young as 12. Biden announces launch of $350 billion in emergency recovery funding. Judge rejects proposed placement for sexually violent predator. Newsom proposes more stimulus payments as part of virus relief. Skateboarder suffers life-threatening injuries in car crash. The next headlines are from spooknews.com. Former legislative aides get jail time for spying for China, focus Taiwan. Stalker sent LI woman 50,000 messages in one day, Woman deceived by spy cop sees relationship as rape, inquiry hears. Colonial Pipeline ransomware attack disrupts refined petroleum deliveries to eastern U.S., UK, U.S., issue advisory on SVRTTPs. Scotland County stalking suspect accused of having GPS tracker put on victim's car. Is Impractical Jokers on Netflix? Former Central Intelligence Agency mom is raising real-life spy kids with toddler riding motorbikes. Watch out for hackers, Britain's spy agency tells smart cities. Samsung phones already protected against modem vulnerability that lets hackers listen to your calls. Caution, hazardous wife, Haruka Ace shines in spy thriller. The next headlines are from SupChina, top news about China. Another report of reproductive oppression in Xinjiang. Hangzhou Safari Park hides leopard escape for weeks, citing fear of losing visitors. Zhu was first, the rise and fall in Chinese lore of Commander-in-Chief Zhu De. China's butterfly queen dominates Chinese swimming nationals. Video streamer IKI cancels a season finale over milk waste controversy. This is the No Views, daily automated podcast news. Today, in the GMT time zone, is Tuesday, May 11th, 2021. Now, more headlines. The next headlines are from KRON4 San Francisco. Why Bay Area homes are selling so quickly, for so much money. Oakland experiences rise in violent crime. City Council calls for non-police response units in Alameda. Earthquakes Chris Wondolowski named MLS Player of the Week. California expands drought emergency to large swath of state. Crews new containment on brush fire in San Rafael. Italian woman mistakenly given 6 shots of Pfizer COVID vaccine. Deuce, Goslings hitch a ride with police in Ontario. Black bear hops in bear wine ice bath at Oregon Zoo. The next headlines are from the Daily Herald. Robertson lifts Stars to 5-4 overtime win against Blackhawks. Political newcomer Youngkin wins Virginia GOP governor race. Stanford Gardner Wilson is returning for a 6th season. After John death, bike advocates say cyclists must be careful and infrastructure must help. Summer concerts at Wheaton's Memorial Park Bandshell. Tiki Bar coming, dueling pianos returning to Rosemont. As vaccine counts tick back up, Illinois is on track for looser COVID-19 restrictions this week. Navy Pier Flyover finally opens, 7 years after construction began. 3 quick-service eateries planned on Jean and Georgetti site in Rosemont. 3 men killed in explosion near Starved Rock identified. The following headlines are from Seattle PI. Expect longer wait times, Washington ferries to use smaller capacity vessels after boat fire. Wetter and warmer, NOAA charts new climate outlook for Western Washington. The next alerts are from the Global Disaster Alerting and Coordination System, a cooperative effort from disaster managers worldwide. Green alert for Tropical Cyclone Andres 21, population affected by Category 1, 120 km per hour, wind speeds or higher is 0. Drought is ongoing in Bolivia, Brazil. Drought is ongoing in Mozambique. Drought is ongoing in Mexico. Drought is ongoing in Canada, United States. Drought is ongoing in China, India, Nepal. Drought is ongoing in Madagascar. Drought is ongoing in Iraq, Jordan, Syria, Turkey. Drought is ongoing in Angola, Congo, DRC. Drought is ongoing in Afghanistan, China, Iran, Kazakhstan, Pakistan, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan. You are hearing the No Views, daily automated podcast news. Today is Tuesday, May 11th in the Greenwich Mean Time zone. Headlines here were found today in news feeds from around the world, but we do focus on the USA, one of the world's current 195 countries. Now, more news. The next headlines are from Cipher Brief Security News and High-Level Analysis. Intelligence Sharing in a Complicated World, The Future of Five Eyes. The next headlines are from ABC Houston. Fifth Ward residents say their babies are latest to see effects of creosote contamination. Murder suspect on the run with tiger now in custody, HPD says. 6-year-old dies after ATV crash in North Harris County. Our America, paving our future by recognizing history of Japanese-American imprisonment during World War II. Thunderstorm chance increases Tuesday into Wednesday. Small tornado takes down multiple trees as it touched down in Huntsville. Want to live in the woodlands? Better get a move on it. NBC won't air Golden Globes in 2022 amid concerns on Hollywood Foreign Press Association. Tesla owner seen on video entering driver's seat before fiery crash in the woodlands, NTSB says. Truck driver shortage leads to job opportunities in a matter of weeks. The following headlines are from China Post, top news about China, Taiwan and the world. Westbrook breaks Robertson's record as Wizards fall to Hawks. Pecorino notches shutout as Preds beat Hurricanes 5-0. Leading off, Means back after no, Voit returns to Yanks. Dreger gets third shutout as Panthers beat Lightning 4-0. Mullins' bizarre triple helps O's beat Red Sox 4-1. A rarity, Tampa Bay Lightning start all-black forward line. Pacers beat Cavaliers 111-102, move into 9th place in East. Naquin, Barnhart lead Reds to 14-1 rout of Pirates. Grizzlies beat Pelicans 115-110, secure play-in spot. The following headlines are from The Gothamist. A new kind of city life in Hunters Point South. FDA authorizes Pfizer's COVID vaccine for 12 to 15-year-olds. Here's what NY parents should know. City to reduce speed limit on 11 roadways. Extra, let's check in with the Italian royal bloodline. 91-year-old Lux whisperer at Zabbers honored by NY state officials. Some NYC subway stations will soon offer walk-up vaccine appointments. Inside the most intimate musical performances, now taking place at the Brooklyn Navy Yard. After a year-long pandemic delay, Rosemary's East finally opens in Stewart-town. Coronavirus statistics, tracking the epidemic in New York. City Hall employees offer travel buddies as subway safety debate rages. We hope you are enjoying this podcast. If you have a suggestion for a new RSS feed we should add, please leave it in a comment on our YouTube page. The next headlines are from globalissues.org. ISIL crimes against Yazidis constitute genocide, UN investigation team finds. COVID's grip keeps world in perilous situation. Bridging the digital divide will save our planet. How to assess the willingness of U.S. to suspend patent protection on vaccines. Corrected version, struggle for the future of food. Free up bottlenecks stifling Africa's agri-food sector, urges FAO chief. Is the campaign for a female UN chief a good try in a lost cause? The next headlines are from blacklistednews.com. Census reveals weird anomaly, shows millions less voted in 2020 election than official tally. Fauci, possible mask mandates could last indefinitely to fight flu. Critical race theory training in workplace could lead to increased bullying, anxiety, expert says. 6 more lawsuits filed against Syngenta over pesticide that causes Parkinson's, first trial set for today. FDA authorizes Pfizer vaccine for youth ages 12 to 15. Professor suspended after denying Canada is a racist county and criticizing BLM. Melinda Gates trashes Bill Gates over ties to Jeffrey Epstein. Oldest millennials near 40, 1 in 5 are single dads and more than 40% do not live with a family of their own. Quid pro quo, sexual harassment investigators looking at whether governor's office traded vax access for political support. The American cyber Stasi will suppress all digital dissent in Biden's dystopia. The following headlines are from Snopes, a fact-checking service. California proposes rebates for millions with $76 billion surplus. Did a photo show paranormal activity on Christmas Day? Do some U.S. states observe Confederate Memorial Day? Did Liz Cheney organize the op-ed signed by all living defense secretaries? Pfizer COVID-19 shot expanded to U.S. children as young as 12. Did a cop really catch his wife cheating, as seen on TikTok? Is Crocs giving away free footwear to healthcare workers? Did an extremely rare anglerfish wash ashore in California? Yes, a tiger was on the loose in Houston neighborhood. Video shows come from away Broadway cast reuniting after 425 days. The next headlines are from factcheck.org. Exploring the legality of COVID-19 vaccine mandates. We are now about 2/3 of the way through today's news headlines. When everything is working, this feed will auto-update 3 times per day. Join us daily to stay informed. The next headlines are from the Daily Beast. Caitlyn Jenner's plan for California's economy: surround myself with really great people. Stephanie appeals crusading newsroom spent years fighting its cruel culture. Teenage boy charged with murdering 13-year-old Florida cheerleader. The Afghan war is over, but not for these Gitmo prisoners. Fox guest turns tables on host, presses her about election misinformation. Violent Jerusalem clash is just the start of bloody days to come. An Apollo executive is the barbecue man behind Sydney's mutant COVID outbreak. Famed forensic psychiatrist to evaluate software billionaire charged in $2 billion tax evasion scheme. Ebola doc, Covax is just a way for white men to absolve their conscience. Docs shed new light on harrowing alleged rape by Miami cop. The next headlines are from the New York Post. Woman allegedly used bear spray to abduct infant of mom she met on Facebook. Yankees in tricky Aaron Judge dilemma for Rays series. China's population growth slows, faces shrinking workforce. Houston man who allegedly had Bengal tiger is in custody. Ted Cruz blasts Democrats' dangerous election reform bill. The following headlines are from astronomy.com. Did life on Earth come from outer space? You're tuned to the No Views, daily automated podcast news. If you are hearing this, you found something super unknown. Congratulations. Now back to the headlines. The next science headlines are from CBS News. California governor expands drought emergency. Doctor cautions against lifting COVID-19 restrictions too quickly. FDA authorizes Pfizer vaccine for kids 12 to 15. Dr. John Lapik on what parents should know about children getting the Pfizer shot. FDA authorizes Pfizer's COVID vaccine for adolescents. 1 in 3 people in the U.S. are fully vaccinated. First fully civilian flight to space station moves forward. Doctor discusses the likelihood of herd immunity in Biden's pandemic response. NASA criticizes China after rocket debris splashes down in Indian Ocean. Space experts call China negligent for gambling with rocket re-entry. The following headlines are from alienUFOsightings.com. First ever photos of Britain's biggest UFO sighting show huge orbs flying through woods with beam of light shooting out. The next headlines are from the New York Daily News. Houston police arrest alleged murder suspect who fled with tiger, animal still missing. Autopilot likely not engaged in Texas Tesla crash that killed 2, NTSB. FDA authorizes Pfizer's COVID vaccine for adolescents 12 to 15 years old. Tourist in China stranded on glass bridge after it was damaged by gale force winds. Help wanted, Chipotle looking to hire 20,000 additional workers and offering up to $750 in referral bonuses. Catherine Garcia gets coveted New York Times endorsement for NYC mayor. Trainer blames cancel culture after Kentucky Derby winner Medina Spirit fails drug test. 8-year-old boy punished for wearing Black Lives Matter shirt to school in Oklahoma, mom says. Former NY Governor David Paterson endorses Fernando Cabrera for Bronx Borough president. Biden kicks off Infrastructure Week by meeting with Senator Manchin, likely gatekeeper of his $2.3 trillion plan. The following headlines are from military.com. Coast Guard cutter fires warning shots at charging Iranian speedboats. Marines will make reports on fatal accidents available in new mishap library. Camp Lejeune toxic cocktail t-shirt makes a comeback. Air Force tests new suits to protect air crew from biological, chemical attacks. Retired Army colonel announces run against Liz Cheney. The VA is now offering walk-in vaccinations nationwide. Sentencing set in insulin injection deaths of 7 VA patients. Hamas fires rockets deep into Israel, escalating tensions. 173rd Airborne Brigade soldier seriously injured in skydiving accident in Italy. Probe launched into Army Aviation Brigade whose soldiers got into strip club trouble in Poland. The next headlines are from the Chicago Tribune. Helmut John's Chicago legacy, photos of his buildings that changed the city and beyond. 15-year-old boy shot in Englewood. Illinois bridge phase metrics, daily updates on trends in coronavirus cases, deaths, hospitalizations and vaccinations, and progress toward full reopening. Waukegan woman identified as victim of fatal Friday crash. We were just shocked, driver of vehicle that struck architect Helmut John in fatal Campton Hills bike crash recounts accident. Chicago Park District starts online registration for summer camps, which will look closer to normal than drastically reduced 2020 programs. Great Lakes water level surge eases after 2 record-setting years. This is one of the drier years we've seen in some time. The Spin, Republican U.S. Rep. Adam Kinzinger compares GOP to the Titanic Lightfoot silent on stolen city emails pressured by Biden administration. Chicago mayor delays decision on scrap shredder. Bob Wallace, versatile news reporter and anchor at Channel 2 for many years, dies at 80. Tinley Park water leak prompts concerns of possible well contamination. The following headlines are from FIS.org. Authentication and repatriation of a ceremonial shrunken head from the U.S. to Ecuador. Identifying the rise of multi-drug resistant E. coli. Crew training begins soon for first private trip to International Space Station. Drone video shows endangered whales appearing to embrace. NASA spacecraft begins 2-year trip home with asteroid rubble. Informed tourists make whale watching safer for whales. Geoscientists find that shallow wastewater injection drives deep earthquakes in Texas. Caldera collapse increases the size and duration of volcanic eruptions. Thank you for listening and for staying informed. This audio was produced today, Tuesday, May 11th, in the GMT time zone. The next headlines are from the Seattle Times. Hoglanders scores 2, Canucks beat slumping Jets 3-1. Spurs record-setting first half ends Buck streak, 146-125. Grumpy dogs outperform the friendlies on some learning tests. Alaska House passes budget, dividend amount unsettled. Mexican judge rules against president's gasoline law. The following headlines are from MercuryNews.com. Westbrook breaks Robertson's NBA triple-double record. San Jose Road Diet called a good move for a ridiculous street roadshow. Police make arrest in Redwood City stabbing. Warriors look to Rudy Gobert as model for James Wiseman's development. Colorado police hunt for motive in deadly party shooting. San Jose State faculty leaders criticize athletics officials for handling of sex abuse probe. Loaded with asteroid rebel, NASA craft turns for home. Customer event, your water bill might get higher. Pride movie nights at Oracle Park to feature In the Heights. The next headlines are from the Washington Times. Glenn Youngkin wins Virginia Republican governor nomination. Kathy McMorris Rogers fights government control of broadband rates in expansion plan. Air Force General John W. Raymond, Chinese lasers, jammers threaten GPS satellites. Postal Inspection Service called out of control over spying reports. Israel ponders zero without Benjamin Netanyahu as Hamas steps up rocket attacks. KIVN's unemployment benefit boost in Alabama. Chuck Smith request recount in Virginia AG nomination race after losing to Jason Miyares. Inside the Beltway, appetite for anger wanes on talk radio. Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine expanded to children aged 12 and above. Plant-based food retail market grew 27% in U.S. last year, reports find. The next headlines are from The Intercept. Faith Winslow, freed in December from a one-time life sentence for pot, has been murdered. This is No Views, daily automated podcast news. You are hearing headlines for Tuesday, May 11th, 2021. Now more. The next headlines are from Eureka Alert. Mount Sinai ophthalmologists develop new technique to assess progression of sickle cell retinopathy. SARS-CoV-2 research, second possible effective mechanism of remdesivir discovered. Reaching the life goals as a single-celled organism. Single-cell map of early-stage lung cancer and normal lung sheds light on tumor development, new therapeutic targets. Analysis of autopsy, toxicological and psychiatric reports of Portugal's first major forensic case. Chill out, advanced solar tech runs cooler and lasts longer. Volcanoes on Mars could be active. Controlling cholesterol in microglia alleviates chronic pain, opioid-free. Chest releases updated guidelines to diagnose and evaluate hypersensitivity pneumonitis. The next headlines are from the Chicago Sun-Times. One shot, one stabbed in Austin. Archdiocese announces restructuring of several parishes on north and southwest sides. Blackhawks blow lead, lose season finale to Stars in overtime. Architect Helmut John's death reignites debate over sale of his renowned and reviled Thompson Center. Say no to dope, there's just no hope. Alderman behind outer LSD renaming push enters Secretary of State race with vow to honor Jesse White, put ads on license plates. Save the Thompson Center. Chance the Rapper concert film set for advanced screenings in Chicago. What happened to Rep. Lee Stefanik? You are hearing today's news headlines. These headlines are for Tuesday, May 11th, 2021. Now more. The next headlines are from the Houston Press. This week in Houston food events, Shrimp Fest, Nurses Day and a pop-up night market. Hey baby, tapping into Tiffany's particular brilliance. Houston Texans announce dates of 2021 off-season team activities. Young Sheldon co-star Doc Farrow came to Texas for the skydiving and the stand-up too. The next headlines are about world records making news. an original superstar, celebrating the life of Hawaiian Duke Kahanamoku, Swimming World magazine. What a planker, can this man beat the world record, the advertiser. 100 Days of Kansas City Area Olympians, Jackson Shawls, Track and Field, KSHB. First original duet from Space and Earth, world record set by Chris Hadfield and Ed Robertson, World Record Academy. Lego Coliseum built in just 13 hours sets Guinness record, Nerdist. State gains U.S., high 2,296 daily coronavirus cases, 52 deaths, WPTV.com. 201 Dome tank Elon Musk to set Guinness World Record, The Daily Star. Bangkok 2021 Para Powerlifting World Cup results, Barbend. Philips auction sets new world record for highest price for a Patek Philippe, DuPont Registry Daily. Wakefield pensioners return to football looks to be a world record, Wakefield Express. The next headlines are from Gizmodo. Dogecoin is literally going to the moon. Hackers threatening East Coast's fuel supply claim they're not trying to cause anybody trouble. This NSFW Love, Death, and Robots trailer emphasizes the death. I guess if you must put an AirTag on your Siri remote, this is fine. The X-Men's Hellfire Gala wants you to RSVP for murder. WhatsApp will turn your account into a useless zombie if you don't accept its new privacy policy. Leaked Apple documents inadvertently help the right to repair movement. Facebook would also like to annoy the misinformation out of you. 44 attorneys general beg Facebook to leave the kids alone. Sennheiser's new $1,300 earbuds are the best I've ever tried. What place in the world had the hottest and coolest temperatures today? According to ElDoradoWeather.com, the hottest place on Earth in the past 24 hours was Nadi in Fiji at 121.1 degrees Fahrenheit or 49.5 degrees Celsius. The coldest recorded weather temperature on Earth in the past 24 hours was Concordia in Antarctica at minus 105.52 degrees Fahrenheit or minus 76.4 degrees Celsius. The following headlines are from Ars Technica. FDA authorizes Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine for 12 to 15-year-olds. Apple invests $45 million more in Gorilla Glass maker Corning. Amazon seized and destroyed 2 million counterfeit products in 2020. It's the battle of the alien symbiotes in Venom, Let There Be Carnage trailer. By eating them, hyenas gathered 9 Neanderthal skeletons in one cave. Security researcher successfully jailbreaks an Apple AirTag. Google, we put YouTube TV in the main YouTube app. What now, Roku? AstraZeneca's troubled vaccine not renewed in EU, Pfizer gets big, new deal. Hackers who shut down pipeline, we don't want to cause problems for society. Private equity firm revives zombie fossil fuel power plant to mine Bitcoin. The following headlines are from Raw Story. We could lose our country because GOP politicians won't hurt Trump's feelings, DC Insider. Republican reveals the one person in Arizona who could end the GOP's audit. Seth Meyers is baffled the GOP treats Trump as a good luck charm after losing White House and Congress. Brian Kemp will be arrested for not overturning the Georgia election, pro-Trump lawyer Linwood. It's basically the Titanic, Republican dissent grows louder as GOP preps for an ever-Trump purge. Judge rules against redo of Arizona GOP leadership elections after allegations of fraud. Arizona GOP leader blasted for refusing to take responsibility for controversial audit. The tent is about to collapse, CNN's Erin Burnett details warnings from inside GOP about Cheney ouster. GOP senators cannot agree on whether Liz Cheney's ouster is cancel culture. Elise Stefanek's former persona dogs her far-right bid to take over GOP conference. The next headlines are from Mother Jones. This teachers union leader told Fox News how to help get kids back to school, we have to stop the misinformation. The Biden administration just prohibited entitled health care discrimination. Let us know how you marked Mother's Day. The bad news is we may not get to herd immunity. Here's the good news. A Trump rule paved the way for predatory lending. The window to reverse it is closing. Labor law is stuck in 1947. It's no surprise companies keep winning. Researchers say they've uncovered a massive Facebook bot farm from the 2020 election. I'm scared of getting sick from the water. The next items are today's top search results for extraterrestrial life. What's on TV this week? 144 Feet and Pride, The New York Times. The following items are today's top search results for the term neuroplasticity. Mechanisms of a seven-necker on the cognitive function of mice NSS, Dove Medical Press. Reduced synaptic plasticity contributes to resistance to ACT-NDT, Dove Medical Press. Dana McMakin, MENAFNCOM. New finding suggests cognitive problems caused by repeat mild head hits could be treated, Uric Alert. Aptinix appoints Joan W. Miller, MD to Board of Directors, Argus Press. This AI isn't just any artificial brain, it actually functions like the human brain, Siffy Wire. We are nearing the end of this broadcast. This report is for Tuesday, May 11th, 2021 in the GMT time zone. What cities are in that time zone? Well, Reykjavik, Iceland, for one. You might wonder if our server is in Reykjavik. It could be. The following is from the UFO Chronicles. Operation Mainbrace UFOs. That's it for now. Thanks for enjoying today's newsfeed headlines. This, indeed, has been a No Views, daily automated podcast newscast for Tuesday, May 11th, 2021. Bookmark us and tune in each day to our free automated podcast to find out what's going on, around, and, sometimes, light years, beyond the Earth. Fair use statement. News I8 is a US-based educational not-for-profit news site. We use only parts of content, in transformative ways and without market usurpation. This means you are still going to want to read the original if you are interested in it beyond the headline and any comments we make. We provide links to original sources wherever possible. If you have any copyright concern, please contact us via our About page for immediate remedy. Contact us, Zeno at XENOMAILS 2021 by News I8. All rights reserved.